As of this morning, we have 44 Marin residents who've been kidnapped by ICE since March of last year. We also have now recently 2 people we're aware of last week who were kidnapped from airports. One Ukrainian man was taken at JFK, lives in Marin City, and on Wednesday, a San Rafael woman who's been living here for 15 years with her husband, 2 children, was taken at SFO. No criminal background whatsoever, just paperwork issues. Of the 44 who've been kidnapped, 9 have been released and 11 have been deported. The rest we may not know about because we don't necessarily keep tabs on all the families. Some tell us we don't need your assistance, thank you very much. Some just sort of disappear, go underground, but we don't really care where they are. We just want to know how can we help that family. So yesterday we had a first time ever a meeting of our legal observers, which they always have once a month. They have a potluck, and we married that with community members who came as well. And we had a meeting all in Spanish to share what we do, how we do it, and who our partners are. We had someone from the Guatemalan consulate there because 90% of the people who've been taken who live in Marin are Guatemalan. We had our partners there, like Community Action Marin. We had Parent Voices, a lot of us coming together to show our community, these resources are available, you're not alone. And finally, last but not least, no one wants to be saved, but people do need help. And I want to make a real clear distinction. We're not here to save anyone. We're here to stand arm in arm and be there for people who are facing this ridiculous existential nightmare. So you can see the trend. This is since March of 2025 through this month, where we've had 3 so far. May was a horrible month for us. We've never seen that many people taken. And it seems to be like they surge it up, ramp it down, surge it up. So I expect August to be pretty awful. Okay, the patterns that I see, we haven't had yet a raid in Marin County. And a raid in rapid response language is 10 or more people taken in a day from a county, from any location. All the people who have been kidnapped have been from, I'll call East Marin, as opposed to West Marin. They are really interested in coming to the jail. We've seen, they haven't been at our jail since 6 years, 2000. We're noticing that when we move someone's case from the immigration court system into the federal court system, we file a habeas petition saying that their rights were violated in this kidnapping. We are getting people out. And now, unfortunately, we're seeing people getting kidnapped at airports. 2 last week. Here's what we're doing in the Rapid Response Network. We're helping 30 families with 2 staff members. We have 1,000 volunteers, which is great. We're offering 1 or 2, LO means legal observer trainings, so that you can be trained as an observer to do this work and witness what is happening. We have volunteer dispatchers who speak Spanish, English, and other languages on call 24 hours a day. I just want to note that if someone needs to hire a private attorney because all the nonprofit pro bono attorneys are working and have no capacity, it's going to cost that family $5,000 to $10,000 per person. We're also helping people with their rent when the major breadwinner is taken. That's about $2,300 a month. There are funds available to help these families, but never enough. We still see that people often make the choice between paying their rent and paying the attorney, but they can't pay both. With all of these things happening, particularly after the upsurge in May, I've noticed that even though this hasn't had a raid yet, it's been a slow raid. And so social service organizations are already at capacity, if not close. There's this very narrow area of immigration law called removal defense. And that's to help people who are now kidnapped and in a detention center or concentration camp. We need lawyers to help get them out using the habeas. And we need lawyers to file the habeas and prepare them. And then people now are getting picked up everywhere, so they need accompaniment to basic appointments, either fingerprinting, which is usually a non-issue. They're now asking for help going to those meetings. And in San Francisco, if they go to an ICE check-in, we highly recommend people have accompaniment, and from a lawyer too, if they can. And there's just long lines at food pantries, because a lot of the benefits available to families are drying up. So all the systems and institutions I was talking about are failing our community. And then all of that to say, there's still an emotional toll this is taking on our community. The primary trauma of seeing your mother taken, seeing your father taken, it lingers with the children more so than anyone else. With the woman from Guatemala who was taken from San Francisco this week, she has an 11-year-old daughter who isn't speaking anymore. She talked to her mom every day, and they were best friends. Now her mom's gone. And then, again, the children, right? That's what I worry most about. And then there's a secondary trauma that we all carry as witnesses, to absorb that family's trauma yourself, show up for them, take a break, inhale a little bit, exhale, and then go back the next day and do it again. That takes a lot of, resilience. And yet, all that to say, the kindness and solidarity of people working against this nightmare is really inspiring. From the lookouts I've never even met at 6:30 Sansom who document everyone coming in and let us know, yeah, that person just arrived. At least we can find them. To the people from our community showing up to you'll learn more about this, just to hang out with the day laborers who are very vulnerable in our community. It's just, for what it's worth, that level of connection and solidarity and generosity is an antidote to the nightmare our families are experiencing. So, I want to talk a little bit about the jail, because this is where we have the shifts every day, twice a day, with our legal observers. And I'll tell you about two things. I'm going to show a video that they took of an ICE kidnapping, and if you have a personal connection to the immigration story, I just want to note this can be triggering, but I think it's important that you see what's happening. So this is, I think this is in May. This is the jail. This is the second story of the jail. This is their public area still, where people are released from the jail from that blue door sort of in the middle where that man is standing against the wall. These are two ICE agents waiting for the man to be released. So there's a man coming up in the shirt here. He's an ICE agent. And this is the man being released. He has nowhere to go. So is he really free? And so he thought he's being released from jail. And they are taking him. So this is what my observers are doing, is witnessing this. Documenting the violations of his rights, documenting who he is, documenting the ICE agents. See how they wear masks? There's another observer there in our pink apron. So now he's being walked out of the jail. Okay. And what happens is we have partners in San Francisco where they take them, after they pick them up from the jail, they bring them to 630 Sansom Street in San Francisco. And we get confirmation that they're there, and then we can send an attorney there if we act fast enough. This is that same man arriving in chains around his waist, chains around his ankles, and handcuffed. So this is what we're doing to our community members. And all of this is awful, but I want to say, we got him out. He's out on a habeas. He got out last week. He's back with his family. And for those of us who've been particularly interested in the sheriff's decision to allow ICE into the jail, I think we can now make a case that he's allowing ICE into the jail where they're making unconstitutional arrests. This is happening more than once. So that's a new argument we can make. And it turns out when you hang out at the jail long enough, you see other injustices that are not at all related to immigration, but are related to people being released from our jail. This is a photograph of a man in a wheelchair. If I tried to blur his face, that's why it looks a little weird. Released from the jail with no way to get home. They had impounded his vehicle, and I don't believe he had a cell phone. So our volunteers that were looking for ICE dropped that and helped this man get home. All right, so our jail shifts are every day when they release people at 7:30 every morning and every night. We're there from 6:45 a.m. to 8 a.m., same for p.m. We have a very detailed protocol we share with our observers. We have a very detailed way of taking observations. We look for license plates, and we station volunteers upstairs and down, outside and inside. And if you'd like to if you are already a trained legal observer and you'd like to do this, let me know. And if you'd like to be trained as an observer and are considering doing this work, let me know too. And I will share this this is the link to get trained. So if you'd like to be trained, go here and you'll automatically get a list of upcoming trainings. I think we have to still add some for September. Right now we have one in August because everybody's on vacation. So all that was pretty awful. I just want to take a mental health moment and look at kittens for a second, because it's a lot. It's a lot. I'm sharing with you a lot we're experiencing, and I have to this is how I try to survive this, is to remember the sweetness of life, not just the awful parts of life. And last but not least, we do a lot for our community that isn't covered by the funding we receive. We have amazing funders, Marin Community Foundation, the county, and the San Francisco Foundation. But it's just for the bare bones operation of the network. It doesn't include a lot of the staffing, commissary accounts. So we put $100 into people's commissary accounts. When we find them in the system, like the Guatemalan woman, I just this morning put $100 in her account so she can eat, because they often don't feed people unless they can buy the food, and she can call her family. So that we do that without any funding, we just do it. So anything you can offer us to help offset that cost would be amazing. That's it. Any questions? I have one question over there.
We talked when you were at Marin Community Church in Fairfax like 10, 12 days ago, and I told you my son's working in the public defender's office. So I asked him about this. He really said that what they're hearing in the PD's office is that this is not like a really orchestrated effort between the sheriff and ICE, but that the deputies are letting ICE know when someone's going to be released. So I wonder what your response to that is, and also what kind of pressure can we bring to bear, what you would recommend on avenues of pressure to bring to bear on the sheriff's office?
Sure. There are a lot of observations that we have made. The question is about how to put pressure on the sheriff to stop letting ICE in. And I say the sheriff, I mean the whole sheriff's department. And also consider the probation department as well. They work in tandem. There are things that we're documenting, people being released where the sheriff has a booking log that's wide open to the public. You don't even need to know a name. All the names of the people in custody are there, their birthday, their name, their release date. And we're finding a lot of inconsistencies in the release dates where it seems like there's no way ICE could have known that this person was being released at this date unless somebody told them. So that's really concerning. We're working on building a case of evidence to demand that this stop. And as I said, ICE comes in, took that man I shared with you, and we get him out on a habeas, meaning that was an unconstitutional arrest. So the sheriff is allowing ICE in to make unconstitutional arrests. That has to stop. I don't care how they hear about it, how ICE hears about it. On that alone, he has to stop. So any more information we can gather, any more evidence we can gather, a bigger case we can make, the observers are helping with that. We had observers, I think in May, where a man from San Jose was being released. His family drove up from San Jose. They knew his release date was that day. And then ICE showed up. And so the man's brother was clearly agitated and charged the ICE agent. We got all of this on our video. And I think because we were there, nothing bad happened to that man. They could have done all kinds of things to him. But he saw his brother being taken, and he responded as any of us probably would, like, no, stop. So he was able to leave freely. However, his brother was taken by ICE. So the observers, the work they're doing is invaluable to witness and document the violations of people's rights and all the ethical violations we're seeing. And for any sheriff to cooperate with that is unacceptable. It's not like ICE. ICE now is not the ICE that used to be, as we know. We've seen it all, right? So that's where the sheriff and I disagree.
I'm wondering where would be the best place to put pressure, to bring pressure to bear on the sheriff's office to tighten that spigot so that the information does not get out to ICE so directly?
Well, keep doing what you're doing. Keep going to the public meetings, making public comment, demanding that this stop. Don't let up for a second. Keep speaking during public comment. There's a push for an ordinance to make our county an ICE-free zone. That's great. That's a very concrete ask you can make. Anything we can do to say we don't accept this and do it loud and do it consistently is really important. In organizing, there's like an inside-outside strategy. Both need to be working for us to see change. The outside strategy is all of us speaking in public, where the supervisors meet, and saying this is unacceptable. And the inside strategy is all the evidence we're gathering to make a case for this to stop. Mm-hmm.
I was shocked in that video that you showed of the ICE officers arresting the individual at the county jail. They looked like they were dressed like any of us.
Yeah.
So is that legal?
Yeah. They can wear masks. They had lanyards on. What they do is when they're lurking in the parking lot before the jail opens in the morning, they're all zipped up. And then the minute the jail opens, they unzip their sweatshirts and you see their lanyard. But we know them at this point. We know what they look like, so we know it's ICE. We know their vehicles. We're tracking their license plates. But yes, that is all legal.
Except for jail, is there any common reason why someone is targeted by ICE? Is there an average? Is there any way to predict who might be?
Especially now at the airport. The two people that we know about who've been kidnapped, Marin residents, it's all just paperwork. One guy filed his visa a month late. Same for the woman picked up from Guatemala. It's just paperwork. There's no criminal record. There's nothing. There's no order of removal. There's just a glitch in their paperwork. It's like they're looking for any excuse. And so it's really important that we share information with our neighbors on how to stay on top of their court case so they never miss a court appointment, because they're changing those around every week. So people, of course, will miss because they change the date on them. So we have to get our community educated in how to look out for themselves too, and check their dates. And we did that yesterday at one of our meetings.
You mentioned Guatemalans are the highest number of folks that are being detained. Is that because that's the largest population?
Yes.
Okay. And is it proportionate or is it disproportionate?
It's disproportionate. The question is about why is it Guatemalans are the highest number of percentage of people being detained. Yes, there's a large Guatemalan community in Marin County, in the canal in particular, but there are other little communities impacted as well. The Haitian Creole community has been targeted. Now the Ukrainian community is being targeted. We've seen people from Mexico, we've seen people from El Salvador. The last thing they want to do is be deported. So it's kind of all over the map, but I think it's still far more Guatemalans than any other, and I think it's still out of proportion to the number of Guatemalans in our community. Another question? Thank you.
So you may have already spoken to this, but I just want to understand, like, who has jurisdiction over the sheriff's office, and where's the leverage? Where is that control mechanism that can, shut this practice down? Or where's time best spent, I guess?
Both public outcry, and then if you can join us, become a legal observer, show up at the jail and start documenting everything we're documenting. We are building a case to make this stop. So both of those things are really important. The more evidence we have, the more we can show that how could ICE have possibly known about this person? So it does take, though, time to build that evidence, but we are doing that.
I guess, but in terms of, like, is it the Board of Supervisors? Is it the City Council in San Rafael? Is it...
Let me just say one thing. So of the people who are being released from the jail, most of them have been picked up by San Rafael police.
Okay.
So if you really want to look back to the source of some of this, it's over-policing of black and brown communities in San Rafael. That's one thing to look at. There's a police advisory board, which was set up after this man was beat up by a cop, which you probably remember him as Mateo. He filed a suit and he won. So they set up this police oversight of the San Rafael Police Department, and that is somewhat effective, but highly controlled by the police department. So I guess the overall advice, though, is to keep looking for leverage everywhere you can. Don't give up when you see that they have made it so that it's really difficult to challenge them. Don't give up anyway. Keep going. That's what we have to do, is never give up when we come up against a wall. Keep going. Because there's more to see. Turns out, like when we hang out at the jail, we saw all these injustices of people being released without phones or money, no way to get home, regardless of immigration status. Phones in the lobby that weren't working. The more we look, the more we see. So I encourage you to look.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah. Another question up here?
My understanding is that Marin County is one of 2 Bay Area counties out of, there are 9 in that count. The other 7 all have anti-ICE provisions. And I've been watching what goes on at the Board of Supervisors. I have yet to come away with an understanding of what's the problem. Why is the Board of Supervisors neglecting to act?
Well, I can go off what they say. They have said things like, we don't want to put a target on Marin County. I'm like, excuse me, our immigrant community has a huge target. How dare you walk away from that? And I have to say, personally, I've been yelling at the sheriff for 8 years. I have the same talking points from the first Truth Act forum to the one we always have every year. So I'm kind of moving into sharing the humanitarian impact of him allowing ICE into the jail, the families he's destroying, and looking, not, and allowing that to happen. So why is Marin so hesitant? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. To say it would make us a target is absolutely insane. If you understand what's happening to your own community, you would never say that, right? So I think they're removed from the problem. They have a safe kind of bubble around them where they don't feel impacted by this. So how dare they, right?
Is anyone organizing people to go to the regular meetings of the Board of Supervisors and speak at open mic?
Yes.
Yes, who would that be?
DSA Marin, Democratic Socialists Marin, I think they have a website. They've got the ordinance up that they want on their website that they want you to support. And then MV Free is also organizing with DSA Marin to put together groups who come and speak whenever possible at the supervisors' meetings.
Okay, because the sheriff's elected, but as I understand it, the Board of Supervisors funds the sheriff's department.
They do.
Yeah,
and
they have the purse strings.
Couple Truth Act forums ago, Dennis Rodoni spearheaded an effort to cut $1.3 million from the sheriff's budget. The sheriff retaliated by removing his officers from West Marin. So that can't be. So he had, I don't know what conversations happened, but the officers are back, and the funding cut did not repeat itself the next year. And I'm sure they found a way to backfill it like they did more recently when the sheriff was receiving money for undocumented immigrants housed in the jail. People got really pissed off. That contract has ended, yet the county backfilled with their own money, so the sheriff was never out, never experienced.
The sheriff is flush, but he's not sharing any of that with just human decency to
Right.
people who are released
Right.
and to keep up the phones, et cetera. So somehow there needs to be a high degree of intense moral pressure brought to bear to shame them all.
Amen. Let's go.
Hi, my name is Patty Hoyt, and I am with Marny Fisher, and I am sporting the pink legal observer apron, the pinky as we call it. I work very closely, volunteer very closely, I should say. This is all unpaid for all of us. So I would like to start the presentation. I think Cheryl's going to do that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about grassroots programs that support immigrants that we are all involved in, including Marny. So we'll start with the second slide. Okay, so there's 6 initiatives that I would talk about. The Whistle Packet Program, the Adopt a Corner, research we're doing for getting a workers' center, the ICE Out of Marin Coalition, trying to get that ordinance passed, school patrols, and visibility actions. So the Whistle Packet Program started in Chicago when the ICE surge began, and the simple premise is see ICE, form a crowd, stay loud. And packets have a label with the QR code pointing to the videos on each packet, and there's a training video in both English and Spanish. And our presentation didn't come through with the video embedded, so I'll spare you the 3 minutes of seeing Sammy, my fabulous daughter, doing the training for the Whistle Packets. So the program launched locally in November, and we have made and distributed about 6,000 packets throughout the county. More packets are being created every week by us and by others, including you all here. And even the Dominican nuns made us 500. So go Dominican nuns. We're all volunteers, and we pay for the materials ourselves, and we get donations. The program itself, where there's nearly 100 businesses and community organizations that are now distributing them, including 36 places in the Canal District of San Rafael. Community organizations such as the Multicultural Center of Marin, Parent Voices Marin, Canal Alliance, and North Marin Community Services, to name a few. We've also convinced 2 city governments, Mill Valley and Fairfax, to provide them, including at the Fairfax Police Station. And we've been trying to get the County of Marin and other cities on board as well. And the goal is anyone at risk to know what it means when somebody blows a whistle. And we leave it up to individuals to decide for themselves, but we do encourage those that are more at risk, the vulnerable, to try to find a safer place when they hear the whistles rather than be forming the crowd with those of us less vulnerable. Then there's the Adopt a Corner program, and what Lisa didn't say is whenever she asks me to do something, I say yes. And so in August, she asked me, have you heard about NDLOM, which is the National Day Laborers Organizing Network? They have a program where you go and you hang out and talk with your day laborers. And so in collaboration with Lisa, having said yes when asked, I started it in September. And I live in Novato, so they're along Redwood Boulevard between Trader Joe's and Grant. And since December, they've been doing them in San Rafael. In Novato, we're out there 3 times a week. And in San Rafael, they're at 4 different places going out 3 and 4 times a week. And what we're doing is distributing the Know Your Right red cards and the Marin Rapid Response Network cards. We post the Salute Lucha flyer, and the Salute is an acronym for when you're calling the rapid response number, what we want you to communicate in terms of the size, where the location, and all that. So we posted those with eco-friendly wheat paste, which besides being eco-friendly, it's really hard for people to claw off, bad people. So we bring coffee and bottled water, granola bars, and we make an additional treat each time. I'm going home to make my chocolate chip cookies for them because we're going out on Monday. And we go out more frequently when circumstances arise, such as when ICE was going to do a surge in November, like ahead of the Super Bowl. So we go out when that needs to happen. At Christmas, well, first at Thanksgiving, we gave out 25 toiletry kits. We've never seen more than 25 people at that point. On Thanksgiving Day, there was 31. So for Christmas, we decided we would do 35 stockings stuffed with handmade beanies that volunteers made and gave us to distribute, good sturdy work gloves, warm wool socks, hand lotion, and we got enough money so that we were able to also give them each a $25 Trader Joe's gift card. And of course, as I said, our corner is a patch that ends right at Trader Joe's, so it's very convenient for them. Also bits of chocolate. And then on Christmas Eve, we went out and with 35 tamales, homemade by a lovely Guatemalan woman, and then we gave them sodas, sweets, etc. And finally, my last point on the Adopt Corner program is, so twice a month, one of us, Lynn or Denise, my partners in crime, make sandwiches as a treat. And they relentlessly ask, when is a sandwich? When is a sandwich? And we just started a couple weeks ago doing tamales, so now it's when are tamales? So either sandwiches or tamales. I mean, they live on the edge. It's really important to show that they're cared for. And it's not an exaggeration to say that those of us who are doing this have been very much touched by the experience and could not have imagined it, so I'm glad I said yes to Lisa. And now Marny's going to come up and talk about a latest thing that still has to do with day laborers, the Worker Center.
First of all, thank you each and every one of you for showing up and supporting our neighbors. So the Worker Center, this came out of our being at the day laborers. We, many of us, are Adopt a Corner folks, and at Home Depot is where I go. We found that when we asked the people who help us build and clean our houses and build our gates, etc., what they would do if ICE was to come, and the 2 answers were heartbreaking. They were, I would run, and everyone to a person would say that, and a few would say, I have to trust in God. God will take care of me. Well, we're God. We each of us. And so 5 of us got together and thought we need a space with a door that would say private. That was the initial idea that habeas corpus would be strengthened by having a door and a private you may not enter to protect the people who help us. We needed a space, and we also thought there are many worker centers across California, especially in the Bay Area, but none in Marin. And so some of the things we thought after going around to various worker centers, we started to research this. What is in a worker center? Who has them? So this one is just Center in Concord, but many of us went to different worker centers, and some of the things that they supply are bathrooms, classes, coffee, places where people can gather, and Indalon, which is National Day Laborers Organizing Network. They have offered to and have given to many of the worker centers programs where they can put the names, where they can track workers and employers and make sure that their skills are being paid for, and they can track people that in Marin, there was millions of dollars not paid to workers. Workers go out, they do the work, and the employers say, I'm not paying. And they have no recourse because many of them are undocumented. The legal aid of Marin actually had said they had clawed back millions of dollars from these people of Marin who weren't paying our day laborers. So that's one of the other things worker centers can do. So we decided to do a survey because we wanted to know what the day laborers want, what they need. And this survey was Patty's a whiz, helped us, the five of us, create a survey that's pretty technical and that would be evidence-based, so that when we go to the city of San Rafael, Marin County, Board of Supervisors, different funders, that it actually shows some statistics and what they want. And so some of the things, so we also, many of us, donated money so that for each survey that was given, Barbara, you administered a survey. Spanish language volunteers would go out and ask, would you answer this quick survey, 10 minutes? And in exchange, there was a $15 gift card at Grocery Outlet, which is at Marin Square, where many day laborers gather to get work. And so we have more than 51 completed now. Our goal was 75, but we will probably reach 100. So the coding is opened-ended responses, and again, Patty and another gal, former economist, is going to analyze it. And I said we met with different worker centers, and after the survey is calibrated and analyzed, we will bring the information back to the groups that we've already approached, like Canal Alliance, Indalon, who have, I just want to say that Marin Rapid Response Network and Indalon support this effort to get the worker center, and we'll share the results. Okay, no ice in Marin. Lisa already spoke a little bit about Marin, no ice in Marin, the ordinance that we're trying to get passed. So No Ice in Marin is a group of grassroots groups that have decided to band together, just as you're banding together here, to pass this, to get this ordinance passed, which the two main things of the ordinance say that the federal government cannot use county land to organize and get ready for raids in our county. So they can't come to the court, to the county jail area, and wait there and take people out of county space. That's one of the big things that in different cities, they would go to the parking lots and bring their vans and get all ready for the raids. But this will give our employees, the people that are serving our county, the right to say, no, sir, there's a sign here, it's only county. You may not come in. And when they break that law, it gives strength to the habeas corpus that you can pull our immigrants back from their claws. So that's a little exaggerated, but it's true. So there's the different Solidarity Sundays, Resist and Defend, DSA, Foresos Unidos, different indivisible society are part of these groups. And then 6,000 plus Marin residents have signed the petition. That was the initial one, asking no funding for the SCAP for holding immigrants, and giving them information. In February, our county did say temporarily they would stop the SCAP funding. We want it permanently. And then the sheriff said that he has denied this, but he's basically with the SCAP funds sold the information of our undocumented immigrants to the ICE agents. There's still more work to be done. Marin is not prepared for a large-scale raid. We are not ready, and that's why everyone is working hard to get ready. And because of the work that people like you have done, Eric Lucan, and he presented to the Board of Supervisors finally to have an ad hoc committee, which is an acceptable committee on the Board of Supervisors to investigate the need for an ordinance. This is after many, many, many months of denying that. And so Supervisor
Moulton Peters
and Rodani is on that committee. And this means we have to give more pressure so they move quickly. So the DSA is kind of the main leadership in getting the people to these Board of Supervisors meetings. There is a petition up here, if you haven't signed it, that has information. You can either scan the QR code or write your name, and then you will get informed about these next meetings at the Board of Supervisors. I think the big information on this, the two components, it's going to, as I said, bar the use of county property, information, resources, sharing that big log that's just wide open would be restricted, and then establish a clean and a reporting out system for the county departments to make sure the Board of Supervisors and the public receive accurate information regarding enforcement by our Sheriff's Department. So again, please sign the petition, write the supervisors. Today you could just go online, write them, you support this ordinance and it's time. And then again, if you sign the petition, you'll get informed about the next meeting. And next slide is school patrols.
So we heard about the school patrols, again, through Marin Rapid Response Network, and there happens to be a very robust one currently underway in Oakland. Of course, right now it's summer vacation, so they're not actively happening. But the Oakland organizers have been so cool about making their trainings available to anybody throughout the counties in the Bay Area. And it's a parent and neighbor-led initiative supporting the schools. And although they're not required to provide assistance, the schools aren't, it is very helpful when they do. And so in Oakland, for example, a couple of the principals have given their cell phone numbers to there's two pairs patrolling both at pickup and at drop-off. Or I guess reverse that, yes, in the morning and the afternoon. But we currently just have the one active in Marin right now is at Laurel Dell. But these are how one can sign up to attend any of the school patrols, and they also do trainings on how to do an adopt-a-corner. And there's this flyer that we posted around. I think Novato has about 250 people signed up but again, they have not started yet doing it. And then I'm going to pass it back to Marny, who's going to talk about our visibility actions.
Hi, again. So we go out and try to bring visibility to this issue. We go to the farmers market weekly where we table. We have one table actually for Rapid Response Network information, the red card, know your rights, the whistle packets, and any issue, like if there's a legal observer training coming up, we'll share that. We have another table for actions that people can be taking, and I'll go over those. We also have Marin Action for protests, which is a way that people can get involved. Overpass banner drops and street sign protests, as well as the vigils that we've been holding. So the farmers market, we have, I just said, we have whistle packets. Also the Dead at the Hands of ICE banner has been up there. And then these two portraits are painted by a local artist, Jean Bolte, who just felt the need to do that and painted the posters. So the Marin Action for Protests, the map is there's a email which is marinactionproject@gmail, and if you email that, they will send you the monthly, which you can see in that picture, the monthly actions that you can take.
Weekly.
And then weekly. Patty does that too. She puts that together. Okay, so then we have these to pass out, which is actions if you have 5 minutes, if you have an hour, if you have more time. So 5 minutes is sign that ice-free ordinance. Make 5 calls. 5 calls is an amazing thing. You get that app, 5calls.org, it takes you 2 minutes to voice to our senators and representatives. And then Turnout to Win is the Indivisible Marin's action to get people elected, and Randy Viejas is the guy to try to campaign for. And then if you have more time, become a legal observer or an Adopt a Corner. And all the information is on these little flyers. And then overpasses, if you really want to get down and dirty. Join us for overpass protests. We work with Sonoma County also has overpasses, so people leaving the city and going north, we see thousands of people every week. And West Marin is doing it, we're doing it, Alex, and Patty is also in other areas doing it, as always, where we have messages like, protect our immigrants. Immigrants build this country. We're trying to just up the awareness that when they start attacking, we want to push back. There's just a picture of one of our banner overpasses. Vigils. So again, these were at the vigil for Lorenzo and Johan, who were murdered, and then after that there was another young man murdered. It just keeps going. So we want to bring that home to people, and I think you know this because the people who are sitting in this room know this. It's our hearts. We have boundless love. We love each other, and what's happening to our people is destroying us. So I just want to thank each of you for everything you're doing, because John Lewis said you have to step up, you have to keep going no matter what. It doesn't seem like we're making a dent, but we are making a dent. So we thank you. And
That's us.
That's us. Alex Leon, I'm going to say these names. Alex Leon, Yvonne Del Valle Viarco, Margaret Fisher, that's me, Patricia Mullen, Patty Hoyt, Rachel Miller, Sonia Foray. These are women that I love, who stand up for each other and for our neighbors. Okay, thank you.